All right. I don't know if wearing a Lisa Eldridge sweatshirt for a Lisa Eldridge unboxing slash review is super uncool, like wearing the band t-shirt to that band's concert. I don't know, but I'm doing it anyway. Wasn't that like a faux pas at one point? Anyway, I just had to pop this on because it was in my most recent haul. I am going to be sharing with you everything I picked up, including, of course, some of the new Rouge Experience lipsticks. I cannot wait to try these on. I also thought that I would pull out a few of my Lisa Eldridge lip pencils to pair with these lipsticks. I'll show you without a lip pencil and then also with, in case you're like me and you're like, I just don't know which one is probably going to go best with these, so I'll pull out my collection. I have several of both of Lisa's lip pencil formulas, so we'll have fun playing with that. And I have a little bonus for you at the end of this video if you are interested. I'll get into that as we get into the haul, so stay tuned. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, without further ado, I am sure that you are curious to see what I got. Now, I feel like it's a whole moment because I did pick up the midnight sweatshirt. It is the only one that is left. I actually earlier today was wearing my ribbon sweatshirt, but I got my nails done and I was like, oh no, this is way too Christmassy. I can't have this green and gold nail and then also have a red sweatshirt on. We are not ready for the holidays yet, y'all. Like, no, that's not happening. But it does, this sweatshirt does pair very well with this beautiful new bag. I think that this is probably my favorite. I missed out on the emerald colored one, I believe. I think at one point Lisa had a beautiful like green one. My first order that I did not, I don't know what I did, but I totally missed out on placing bags into my cart. So my very first Lisa Eldridge order, I didn't get any bags and I was really sad. By the way, I did purchase all of these things myself. As you know, I am well, if you are not new to my channel, you will know that I am a big Lisa Eldridge lip fan. I actually put a cap on lipsticks in my makeup goals for this year, but I did say that I was giving myself a hall pass if Lisa launched anything. And here we are. All right, so let's go ahead. I have not opened any of these, by the way. I did get one of the components and two of the refill lipsticks, so we have 3 shades to get into today. I will tell you, I probably could have easily picked out 5 of them to try out, and I had to rein myself in a little bit. I'm trying a little bit of like soft control here. That's my new theme. I know I'm not going to be a hard control, but we're shooting for soft control. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. Now, I did decide to go ahead and, you know, if you're just going to do it, you might as well do it. So I did get the monogramming, which is why this is taking a little bit longer to put up than some people's, because obviously you have to wait a little bit. So if you didn't know, these are my initials. KBR are my initials, and that's where Keep Beauty Real came from. I wanted something, you know, that kind of worked with that. Let me tell you, this component, it feels luxe, y'all, and I expect nothing less from Lisa at all. Do you want to know which shades I got? So I picked up, like I said, 3 shades. The one that's in here right now is Romy. And then I also got Audrey and Lisa. And by the way, if you are just specifically here to see like one lip swatch, I will have chapters down below for all the things that we're going to be doing today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Now, I am very excited to try these out. I am not going to go too much into a lot of the inspo that Lisa talked about because I think she just does that so well in her own video. So I will make sure to have her video linked down below if you haven't seen it, because I think it's a fun way to sort of like find out the journey of this, because it sure sounds like it was a journey, and hopefully it was worth it for all of us, for Lisa and for all of us. Oh, I just noticed here that there's also a little Lisa Eldridge. You probably won't be able to see that, but there is a little Lisa Eldridge right there as well. All right, lip swatch time. I'm so very excited. So I did earlier have a bit of lip balm on. I have tried to wipe off as much of that as possible. We're going to go in. Now, Romy is, I believe, the lightest shade. Now, here is one thing that I will say is I feel like, and we'll just have to see as I open this up here, I feel like it's really hard sometimes in some of Lisa's imagery with her models. The color looks a little different. I don't know if it's, I feel like and it's going to totally make a difference on different skin tones, different lighting, all of those things. But when I ordered, because I am an Emerald member, and so I was able to purchase these the day before the actual launch, there wasn't as much information available as on launch day. So Lisa hadn't done her video yet. It was really just going off of the imagery on the website. And I always feel like things look a little different when Lisa does a video. Now, obviously she has a different skin tone, but that was just one of the things. And I was like, oh. Now also, I'm sort of grateful that I ordered beforehand though, because if I had watched Lisa before I purchased, I probably would have picked up more shades just because she makes everything seem so amazing, so wonderful. So this is the one that I'm a little bit concerned about because it looked a bit pale. And I have fairly pigmented lips, as you can see. So sometimes I'm always worried that those will give me concealer lips, and I really don't want that. Now, I know Lisa talked about this like teardrop shape and how you can apply from the teardrop side, from this side, and then you can also apply from the other side as almost like a liner. So depending on how crisp you're wanting to get your line, we will go ahead and put this one on, and then we'll go through and find a good matching lip pencil option or two. Now, as I'm putting this on, I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but I have some of every single lip formula that Lisa has. I have some of the Balm Embrace. I have some of the Luxuriously Lucent. Wow, the Invisalign is killing me today. I have the Insanely Saturated and the True Velvet, so I can kind of compare. I can already tell here that this is more slippery than the Insanely Saturated, but not as slippery and somewhat sheer as the Luxuriously Lucent. All right, definitely pleasantly surprised with the shade. Now, this shade I feel like is really that more evened out, like it is sort of like a My Lips, but a little bit almost nuded out. Like it's not My Lips, but better, because I don't feel like it actually enhances my lip color. If anything, it makes it just a hint lighter. But the formula is very comfortable. I can see this being a good, and I think Lisa even said this, like a good everyday grab and go. You're going to be able to rely on it all the time. I think that this is really pretty. I'm going to be curious to see what this looks like. It's a little bit contoured. So let's get a couple options. Okay, so here I have, all right, so what I did was I swatched out the new Romy shade, and then here we have some lip pencil options. I actually think that all of these would be a good option. The first one is the Sculpt & Shade pencil in 0N. The second one is Sculpt & Shade in 1C. And then the third is Muse. So I think that all of those would work. I feel like if you want more of that like cool toned contour, the 0N would be a great one. But I guess technically it's more neutral toned than the 1C, but it has a little bit more of that brown shading. You know, I just feel like that's such a good natural contour shade. But putting the 1C on would give you a bit of that like more saturated pink, and then you could warm it up a little bit by using Muse, because it is a bit cooler toned than Muse. So I think for today, I'm going to choose the 0N because I think that that's going to look really good. Now, I would normally put this on before the lip color, but you know, right now we're just doing it. I wanted you to be able to see both options. All right, so here we have Romy with 0N. I think that that looks really good. I did have to overline a little bit just because to get some of that color to stick down over the top of this lipstick, I just needed to do that a bit. So very pretty. All right, so we are going to move on to the next shade that I purchased. And then by the way, at the end, don't worry, I didn't forget, I am going to do swatch comparisons, but I'm going to wait until I have the whole lineup on my hand. So then that way you can kind of see the different options. So this is like the worst time to be doing lip swatches because I had to have my teeth rescanned for my Invisalign. I was just saying this in a different video, but that meant that this tray that is in right now, I have to have in for like, I think it's going to be like 4 weeks altogether while I'm waiting for my new trays. And the plastic in them, like even if I'm not drinking coffee with them in or doing anything naughty, they still get a little bit yellowed. So I feel like, oh, I can already see it in the tray. They're a little dingy. And despite like using the little like cleaners and whatever, I just can't seem to get them back to clear. So my teeth look more yellow than they are, and I'm hating that. So No big smiles for me in this video. Even if I'm loving these lipsticks, I gotta like keep it reined in. All right, so we are going to now put one of the refills in the component. And Lisa said that this is really easy to do. It's meant to be so that you can swap out shades seasonally, or, you know, if you just are looking to have a different shade the next day. So we're gonna do it together because it doesn't make sense. Like the value of this lipstick really goes down for me if it's a pain in the booty to have to swap these out, because I feel like, hold on, we're gonna get into those thoughts at the end, but I'm just hoping that this is easy enough to do. I do like that it does come, the refill comes with its own little cap. We'll talk about all of the sustainability as well at the end, but I do like that it comes with its own cap and you are able to just have it sitting without being worried about it drying out or anything like that. Okay, so now that Romy got to have her night on the town, it's time to pull out Lisa. So, we're gonna give this a go. So literally all you have to do is pull off the top cap, and then this bottom part here does come off. So it snaps in and then you can just pull it off. So be careful, but it should actually go pretty easily. And then I can just take the cap from Lisa, pop it on Romy, and then I am good to go. And you will know, by the way, which one is which, because the bottom piece, which is where either your initials or nothing will be, is a little bit more snug than the cap. So you will be able to put that on. And then this one is Lisa. So this is, I'm assuming, going to be a bit more pink and a bit more warm. So let's pop this one on. And by the way, these don't have any fragrance. I know that a lot of people were up in arms when the Balm Embrace has a bit of a, I think it's a very light vanilla scent. I know there are a lot of people who are like fragrance free all the way. This does not have fragrance in it. Personally, I don't mind a bit of fragrance as long as it's not floral. I don't understand why anyone would want a bouquet next to their lips, but that's just me. And by the way, I have these on at like full saturation level. I would say it's like 2 good coats, if you will. So you could kind of buff this in a little bit more, but I'm trying to show it at its full opacity. So I've just kind of smoothed that out a little bit. This is really pretty. This is very pretty. I think this is an everyday wear, kind of goes with everything for me. Now let's find some lip liners. All right, so here we have a few options again. So I think that the best, in my opinion, would be Muse from the Enhance and Define. That is this one right here. Now I think that 1C from the Sculpt and Shape would be something that you could go through with first to really get a crisp line, but it's almost going to be like that first layer that goes down that protects from feathering, that it just isn't going to give you a lot more enhancement because it is almost a half a shade lighter and it's a bit cooler than this shade, but I think it would still work. I also think I just got a fuzzy on my nose. Now, lastly, if you did want to get a bit more contouring and definition, I think that this top one would be beautiful. That is Blush Lightly from the Enhance and Define. I always forget the names of these pencils. So which one are we going to go with? Let's go ahead and do that one. I think that that will be good. So we can go ahead and pop this on. Like I said, I think this is just gonna deepen it up a hint and then also just give you that option for more contouring. Okay, has anyone else found that these caps on these pencils do not stay on? I'm gonna take that off because it's just gonna keep falling off. I have one in my purse right now and I thought that maybe I was just being like rough and like, you know, whatever, like it gets jumbled and tousled and then it comes off, but it literally just came off of the bottom of this as I was putting this on. So let me know, do you find that your caps come off if you have it in your purse? That's a little bit frustrating. Now I will say though, even though that cap situation is frustrating, these are still my favorite lip pencil formula. So, you know, I just deal with it. So you can see here, I just did one side and you can see how it gives you just a little bit of definition. And I didn't blend it in a lot just so you could kind of see. So I'll go ahead, you know what? I think I want to do the other side in a different color because we're going to be taking it off anyway, right? Let's go ahead and go through with Muse because I would like to see the difference here and then you have other options. And these pencils are definitely more matte than the lipstick formula itself. So I would definitely go over with the lip liner first and then the lipstick over the top. Then that way you have a more seamless blend of finish. I don't know if you can even tell. Am I zoomed in all the way? Let's see if we can get you in just a little further. So this is Muse, and this is Blush Lightly over the top of Lisa. Pretty shade, very pretty shade. It's got enough warmth to it that it's not like icy pink, but it's also not so warm that it's more in like a corally pink. It's a really good, just like, I think, flattering shade. But if you do like something that's more of an cooler pink, this is probably going to be a bit too warm because I have what I would consider like warm olive skin. And so everything is going to automatically look a little bit cooler, like more bluish toned on my skin than it normally would on cooler toned skin. So I guess it just kind of depends on your preference. All right, I've swapped into our third shade. Now this one doesn't quite match the vibe today, and I don't know if it's necessarily seasonal for me, but I think it's gonna be a fun one to have. I could not help but get Audrey. I could not help but get Audrey. You know, when Lisa, first of all, I love a good coral moment if it's the right formula. But when Lisa was saying that she fashioned this off of the vintage tube of lipstick that she had of Audrey Hepburn's, of course, I was like, okay, yeah, I just definitely need to try that. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And I am sorry if my lip swatches start to look a little bit messy. I would put a little bit of concealer around the edge, but that can really make a formula look different. And I just want to kind of keep my lips as natural as possible. Oh, this color, interesting. This color is a bit more sheer than the other two, I feel like. Now, right now, oh, my lips. So here I am wiping my lips now. And I just did some lip swatches for another video, my fall lip picks that I put up, because I realized that I had a few shades that I hadn't swatched yet. So I swatched like 4 in the time of like 15 minutes. So my lips are a little bit chapped right now. I will say this color is definitely enhancing that, which is very common for colors like this. Okay. I knew that this one was going to be a risk. I knew that this one was going to be a risk because I have Dance Card from Lisa's Luxuriously Lucent, and I would say, I'm just going to tell you now, I think that's the one that's most similar to this. And I was hoping that a bit more saturated formula would also mean a bit different wear on the lips, but it is really enhancing the texture of my lips. And that's from having just like, to get a good coral, you have to have a kind of like a light base. And I feel like sometimes with those light bases, you get some settling in fine lines and it sort of just enhances. Wow, where is all this fuzz coming from? This is ridiculous. I feel like stuff's flying around the room. As I was saying, I feel like that white base enhances the creases and then also any like dry skin that you might have. Now I will say, using a layer of lip pencil down first could help because I feel like it would fill in the lines a little bit. It also, you can shift the tone a bit more. So let's go ahead and see if I have a lip pencil that will work. I do have one in my purse right now, the one that the lid keeps popping off, and I think it might be an option. Let me go grab that. Okay, hear me out on this one because you're gonna look at these and be like, really, Kelly? But I do think that these are options. So this one here, the more browny, deeper tone, is a Fair. And I think that that actually could look really good with this. But the one that's closest matching, if you want to keep something that's, you know, really right on par, that is Rain. And those are both Enhance and Define pencils. So I think what we're going to do is use one on the top lip, one on the bottom. Here's the thing. If I was going to be using a Fair, I would probably put a coat of this down and then I would put the lipstick over the top. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blot what I have on my lower lip, or let's see, I'll do half and half, one side and one side. So I'll blot it off. I'm going to put the lip liner down, kind of like blend it in, and then put the other color over the top. But first, let's just go ahead and do, I've got so many pencils out here right now, y'all. It's crazy. Okay. All right. So bloody hell, the caps. So let's go ahead and do Rain on this side. Now I will say, if you have any of the warm tones in the Sculptin shade, that's probably going to be a really good match for this color. Like number 2, even number 1 probably would work, but I do feel like this works pretty well. It's really close, just a little bit darker, but blends really, really nicely. Also, I did realize what the fuzz is coming from. I got these wipes to use. The only time I ever use like a makeup wipe type product is for when I'm doing swatches, and they fuzz, they like deteriorate. So probably will not be ever purchasing those again, but I am going to use them since I bought them. Okay, so now let's just take a Q-tip here, and I'm going to take this down on this side. I'm not going to get all of it off because my lips are already a little bit angry. I just got off enough of it to make it feel a little bit more like the other color is going to stick. So let's go ahead and pop a fair on. I am going to put this mostly on the outer third, but I'm going to blend it in and we'll see what that does for this color. Okay, so can you see, this is without the lipstick on, but can you see how this has given me a bit more of like tone? I'm just wondering how this is going to look with this one over the top. I mean, I'm sure if I had exfoliated my lips, if it wasn't going into winter, this would work better. I think this is also a way to bring this, if you're like, I love this color, I just want to make it a little bit more like fall appropriate, if you will, like whatever, anything's appropriate, wear it whenever you want, but can you see the difference there? So again, this is, what did we use? Rain on this side, very good match, and then we have a fair on this side, so it just adds a little bit more of that like warm neutral. I like both. You'll have to let me know. I do feel like this makes my lip look more contoured on this side. All right, so there is our try on. Although I have to say, this color, like I do sometimes like a contrasty lip with my eye look. So like, I don't necessarily feel like if you have a cool toned eye on, you have to have a cool toned lip. I think it can be kind of fun and fresh to like shake it up. If I was wearing a different shirt, I feel like this makeup I would feel better about right now, like with this color on my lips. But since I have this shirt on, I am going to shake it up and change my lip color out for the rest of this video. Speaking of my eye look, if you're wondering what the bonus content is, I did also pick up some of Lisa's single shadows. I do have 2 of her palettes, and I wanted to pick up some shades to be able to flip in and out to create my own palettes with. So I did an eye look for you. So if you want to see that, that's going to be what is at the end of this video, is this eye look, all the dates, if you want a little tutorial on this neutral plummy moment. All right, I'm going to go change my lipstick. All right, I hope you enjoyed that little lip swatching fest. We are going to get into the comparison swatches, but before I go into that, I just wanted to give my little mini review. Now, obviously, this is more first impressions than anything. I will say I have a lot of lipsticks. And I have worn all of Lisa's other formulas quite a bit. So let's just start off on the formula. I think for me that this formula is a little bit more sheer than I was thinking it would be. That might just be in the swatching, and maybe like because my lips are in like rough shape right now, that I just felt like I needed to put on a little bit more to get it, especially the Audrey shade. I was like, oh, this is more sheer than I thought it would be. When I put on my Luxuriously Lucent shades, I will see a difference there. They are a little less sheeny, and they certainly aren't as translucent as those are. So don't get me wrong, they're not the same at all, but it's not quite as opaque as I was sort of thinking they would be. That doesn't bother me at all, other than the Audrey shade I maybe would not have gotten if I had thought that that was the case. That being said, I also, like I said, I have quite pigmented lips, so my pigmentation shines through a little bit of a lot of cream lipsticks. I feel like this formula is super comfortable. It's slidey enough without feeling like it's going to slip slide all over my face, and you do get a bit more color impact from it than you would the Luxuriously Lucent. I feel like, now obviously You have Lisa's Balm Embrace, then you have Luxuriously Lucent, and then you have the new Rouge Experience, then you'd have the Insanely Saturated, and then the True Velvet at the end. So that's sort of, in my opinion, from most matte. And I would actually say that the Insanely Saturated and the True Velvet both have really high saturation, but I do think the Insanely Saturated has a bit more sheen to it, maybe because of the pigment load in it. Maybe they need to have that in the formula, but I would say that that one just has a teeny bit more sheen. This has a lot more. Like, this is a true cream lipstick, whereas the Insanely Saturated are a satin matte, I would say. So these definitely have more creaminess to them. So I think that they are very comfortable. I could see a lot of people enjoying them. They're going to be beautiful for that. I also know that Lisa is planning on releasing more shades in this formula. And then also, I believe she even said next year that she would be releasing another formula that goes in this bullet. I think that that's a great option. I mean, I do love the sustainability here. I mean, I do think that it's great that this entire component is aluminum, so you're able to recycle these when you're done with them. Now, Lisa did chat about how this component can fall through some of the recycling mechanisms, so you want to like ball it up in some clean aluminum foil when you do that, but how great is that? I just think that that's great. I do want to make a note because I'm sure that there are people who are thinking that they might just buy the refill and not pay for a component. I just want to show, I have my two refills here. Now, this cap comes off very, very easily. So 100%, if this was in my purse, this is going to just roll right off. This one is more snug, as you could see, like if you just saw me. This one sits tighter on the cap, sits tighter on the component. So this one would work that way. So if that's something that you were thinking about, just like that, okay, I really want to try the formula, I don't really want to spring for a component yet, you run some risk there. If you're just going to do your makeup at home and, you know, you don't have to take this to touch up at all, you could probably get away with that. You know, it's definitely not the same experience as having this. I do think that this is also like almost a weapon. If you got to ride the subway or something, this would work. It's pretty heavy. I think it's beautiful too. Yeah, it's absolutely lovely. I think that she did a great job on this. So that is sort of my initial thoughts. I think that they're beautiful. The thing with cream lipsticks, and I'll just be honest, the thing with cream lipsticks is there are a lot of gorgeous cream formulas out there. You know that like when it comes to matte lipsticks, honestly, Lisa's are some of the only ones that I will wear. There's very few that are like true matte that I'm going to put on my lips. Cream lipsticks, it's a little bit easier, you know, like the formula is easier to make comfortable. Where I think that Lisa shines, and for me, where the value is in this, is knowing that her tones of her colors are just going to be so beautiful. She does such a good job, and I'm not saying that other brands don't necessarily do that, but I just know that all of the shades that she does are just going to be so lovely. And, you know, I do appreciate a good glam moment every once in a while, and, you know, that is part of it. So let's talk a little bit about the value and the pricing here. The component and a refill together is $59 USD. Y'all, that's spendy. There's no way around it. That is spendy. But the fact that the refills alone are $30, I feel like, honestly, that's sort of the going rate for a high-end, not even a luxury. That $30 is the going rate for a high-end lipstick. So I feel like once you invest, and I will be honest, I feel like I'm going to be fine with just having one component. They're so easy to switch in and out. I could maybe see, like if I'm super bougie or Lisa does some amazing discount for emeralds or something like that, I could see picking up a second one. But really, it takes moments to switch it out. So I really could see just having the one. So $30 once you've sprung for the component, which is very clearly very well made, is going to last a long time, then you're about on average with a lot of other high-end brands. So, but I'm not going to lie, it's expensive. It's expensive. And clearly, you know, Lisa's price range is not in everyone's range. So it just kind of depends where you want to put your beauty budget. I really like some pricey stuff. I also like some budget stuff. So, you know, you do you, but as far as the pricing goes, I feel like when you break it down, once you have invested in that component, it's not too bad. Also, when you get one refill with your component, because you buy the component with one shade in it, when you get a refill, you get 15% off. When you get 2 refills, you get 20% off. So if you feel like this is something that you're really going to enjoy, you can get a decent savings by doing like a little bundle like that. All right, so I guess those are my initial thoughts. Like, I don't feel like, I mean, it's a cream lipstick. I just wanted to show you the swatches. I hope that pairing the pencils was helpful, because I feel like eventually the brand, and maybe they already do on Instagram, but, and I know that you can reach out to customer service to be like, what pencil do I pair this with? But sometimes I'm like, I don't even know. Am I going to need a different pencil? So hopefully seeing my pairings and even seeing like some different combos helped you. Let me know down below. Like I said, I really do like Lisa's pencil formulas. I still think that I prefer the Enhance and Define a bit over the Sculpt and Shade. I actually think that the Enhance and Define, while it's a creamier formula, I think it actually lasts on the lips a little bit longer. That's just my opinion, but they both are very nice. All right, so now, no more chit chat. We're going to go into, I'm just simply going to show you some swatch comparisons. Hopefully that is helpful to you. I think I'm actually just going to go shade by shade, honestly, just because I don't know how far I can get my sweatshirt to roll up here. And so then that way you can just see shade by shade the comparisons that I have. I don't by any means have all of Lisa's lip shades. I do have a lot though, so I will share those with you, and hopefully that is helpful. And at the end, again, there is that eye look. I'm just going to do a little like music sped through tutorial. I will have all of my other makeup details listed down below, and I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed creating it. All right, lovelies, that's going to be it. If you picked up any of these beautiful Rouge Experience shades, let me know down below. I am really liking the formula. If I were to go back, I might switch out Audrey for another shade. I would maybe get Ashes and Roses. Ashes of Roses, I think that's the one. Oh, there were a couple that I was like wibble wobbling on. But I also feel like in the spring and summer, when my lips are more hydrated, and I would probably, you know, pair a little liner with Audrey and be good to go. We'll have to see. Not a huge regret, just like a, ooh, it's not quite what I thought it was going to be. And we'll kind of see that in the swatches. I'll show it to you next to Dance Card. I feel like they both have that like slightly lighter base that just kind of like enhances those lip lines. But other than that, I'm very happy with the shades that I got. Wow, I maybe should have put a little bit of that like before the outro here. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, lovelies. I'll see you really soon. Let's get into the comparison swatches and that eye look. Okay, I'm slightly mortified. I'm just stopping to take a thumbnail picture, and I'm slightly mortified that my bin of, I like was swapping out my winter and spring wardrobes. And so my clothing bin has been sitting here this whole time, and I didn't see it in the viewfinder, but I'm not refilming this video. Let's be real. My lips couldn't take that. Hi, okay, so I am just going to speed through the eye tutorial. By the way, this is me much later in the evening. I was editing this video and I was like, oh my gosh, I never even actually technically shared the swatches. Jet and I are in here. You're just gonna have to deal with that. For those of you who don't know, Jet is our dog. So I wanted to share the shades that I got with you. Now, these, I did not intend to have like a cohesive palette, but it actually did turn out to be a pretty cohesive palette. I probably need to turn up the light just a smidge there. So I really think that this is so pretty. It's very autumnal. And I was going to try to get all of the shades in, but I think that that just would have been too much. So I did use 4 out of here. I used these 2 and then these. So just not the deepest mulberry. Can't wait to use that one, or the more like taupey grayed out brown. So let's talk a little bit about these. I will give you the details of the shades. I don't know which palette each was in, because they're not denoted on here. In fact, some of them do not have a label at all. Some of them are labeled with the shade and the texture even, I think, and some have a label, but it's a number. It's not actually whatever it is. So a little bit annoying. Now, the reason I decided to get these is I really do love this formula, especially the mattes, the seamless matte, I believe it is, and the velvet matte. I think that they're lovely. So this first one is Cherubium. So it's this beautiful sort of like warm, dusty rose. This next shade is a stunner, and I think that this might be from the newest palette. This is Dorian. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a luster, so it's, I would say, you know, almost, it's a little more lustrous than a satin, but it's not a full-on shimmer. Then we have this burnt clove shade. This is one of the seamless mattes. Okay, this next one is one of the ones, here's what I was talking about. This has a label on it, but it doesn't have the actual details, so when I tried to write on it, it didn't go very well. It's a seamless matte. Chromium, titanium, vibranium, who knows? Something anium. I'm sure you can find it in the seamless mattes online. I will have to actually find it, and I'll be putting it in the details of the look because I did use this one. This one is really pretty. I believe this is, oh, I didn't write the name of this one. It's so pretty. I cannot wait to use this one. Absolutely stunning. I believe this is another of the seamless mattes. I will put the details in the notes here. My goodness, I should have been more prepared for this. Okay, Supernova. This is a luminous. Now this is really pretty. I think this is one of the newer formulas. I have to say there were a few shades that I would like to get that were out of stock when I did my order, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye out because there are a few yummy mattes, and I want to change out one of the shades in my Cinnabar palette. Let me just grab that. I'll tell you why I got this. We're doing all sorts of things in this video, let me tell you. Okay, so I really do not use these top coat formula. I just don't find them to be worth it, but I do love this palette, so I thought I could replace this with something else that just had like a little more bang. I don't think that Supernova shade is going to work in here because it is a little bit on the cooler side, but even if I just decided to place in this shade, I mean, that would really work and just make like a nice cohesive palette. I just know that I will not use this shade. So I definitely want to get a few more of the shades at some point when they come back in stock. So now, without further ado, I swear, I feel like this video has been all over the place. Like as I was editing, I was cringing hard. I think my brain has just not been with it today, and I was trying to like get this video done, get it edited and up for you all quickly. So thank you for being understanding of the imperfect presentation. You know, just keeping it real over here. All right, love you guys. Enjoy the look.